Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Special Committee on Reducing Red Tape. We're going to get started here. Madam Clerk, if you could do a roll call for it.
Alderwoman Spencer. Present. Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys.
Here.
Alderwoman Velasquez.
Present.
Alderwoman Sanye.
Present.
Chair Oldenburg.
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. We have 6 present. You have a quorum.
Great. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We need to approve some minutes from 11 September 2023, so I will look for a motion to do that.
Second.
Great. Having a motion made and seconded. Madam Clerk, can you please call that roll?
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velasquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye.
Aye.
Chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. You have 6 aye votes.
Great. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, members of the Special Committee on Reducing Red Tape. We have one topic today under committee discussions, and that is to entertain a motion to create a subcommittee that will begin the work of our goal of finalizing a formal report to this committee and eventually to the Board of Aldermen and the various city agencies to reduce the copious amounts of red tape, making it easier for residents, citizens, and businesses to transact with the city of St. Louis. I know the irony maybe here is not lost that we're forming a committee on a special committee to reduce red tape, but that is in fact what we're doing here because I think the efficiency is a smaller subcommittee, which will be led by Vice Chair Velasquez, and others will be nimble and be able to produce a report working with both internal and external partners to produce said report. So I will restate what will be a motion and hoping that someone will so move it. The motion would be to form a subcommittee, the Special Committee on Reducing Red Tape, to fulfill its goals of producing a report for this committee as well as the Board of Aldermen and the various city agencies. Discussion. Alderwoman Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess my question is, how big is the committee going to be, and have the members of said committee been selected?
They've not. It's a great question. So if you have interest, please contact Alderwoman Velasquez. She will be supervising / chairing this. So I encourage both members of this committee as well as members of the full board to reach out with her. There is no set number, but I'm thinking somewhere around four people tops. And we do want it to be a broad collection, so it'll be in the discretion of Alderwoman Velasquez and myself on just the selection of that. But the hope is that it'll be members who have time and want to dedicate to getting a formal report to this committee as well as the full board.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Does that mean that this committee, the subcommittee, could have members outside of this committee?
Correct.
So it's a sub-plus committee?
No, the subcommittee, well, in theory, I don't think our rules prohibit us from having members outside of the committee.
Oh. And just one last question. You mentioned this outside consultants. Do we have outside consultants already working on this? Is there a budget for this, and who are those consultants?
Those are great questions. The answer is yes and no and unneeded, which yes, there are external parties. There's no consulting arrangement, but the Institute for Justice, who we worked with on the excise bill and has given this committee a presentation, has graciously volunteered their services free of charge to help us formulate a report, a formal document that will be a roadmap for us to clear up red tape. Anything else? From you, Alderwoman?
Thank you. No further questions at this time, Mr. Chair.
Great. I'm just going to go down the list, if that's all right, on round discussion. Alderman Ryan. No questions. Great. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Here. Alderwoman Keys.
I have no questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Velasquez. No questions. Great. Alderwoman Sonier.
Thank you, Sir Chair. I'm just confused. We are a special red tape committee, but now the special red tape committee is gonna form a committee to look at ways to reduce red tape. I thought that was the purpose of this committee. I don't understand, and I think too, I don't know what the subcommittee will look like, but I guess it would be easier too for me to understand, but I feel like we're still a relatively committee. We've only, maybe seen one bill and just began our work. So it just seems to me kind of maybe out of order or not far enough for us to be starting a subcommittee to do the purpose of the actual committee when the actual committee has not really done, we've not really done much or dug into much.
It's a fair point. So my response to that would be, in my mind, there's two tracks here. There is this committee, which we are all sitting on, which can entertain at any time potential ordinances or board bills that around efficiency and that are germane to reducing red tape, right? So that we can still act as a committee. The subcommittee's chief responsibility will be bringing forward a formal document to present that is a outlined roadmap of areas that we can clean up in terms of reducing red tape. So the subcommittee's product at the end of its journey will be to produce this document in conjunction with internal and external partners.
So the subcommittee, you're hoping will identify the agenda of this committee and what we should be working on, looking into?
Potentially, yes. But at any time, this committee can entertain any ordinance around efficiency that would be germane to reducing red tape. But we would have a Bible, so to speak, to go by the time the subcommittee brings forward that formal documentation.
Yeah.
Sorry, I understand that there's maybe a little confusion here, but in my mind, that those are the two tracks that I see. The subcommittee's sole responsibility would be bringing forward a document.
Yes. Well, full respect to you as chair, full respect to Alderwoman Velasquez as potential chair. This just doesn't, for me, this just doesn't make sense. I understand what you're saying, but I think we are the special red tape committee, and I think I would even, if we had started and got a little bit further in our work and I knew more about what is this committee's goals and what do we want to do, and I think maybe you're saying the subcommittee would do that, but then you also said, well, the subcommittee could be anyone from the Board of Aldermen. I think because we've not done much work to talk about forming a subcommittee to form a report when we've only seen one bill, it's confusing to me. But it's not like it's a huge deal for me where if we make a subcommittee it stops our work. But I just think it makes more sense to kind of identify our own goals and objectives as a committee first, as people have already signed up and said we're interested in working through the special red tape. I think that makes a bit more sense to get clear on our agenda and our goals before we start forming subgroups. And then have we started the group and then we're like, oh, it's a lot of work, or maybe our schedules are not overlapping with each other, things like that, then I think I would be more in favor of a subcommittee. But for now, it's my opinion that I think we should focus on our getting more clear and further into our work as a committee and establishing our goals and doing some things first before forming a subcommittee.
Sure. Okay. I mean, I think I'm speaking for myself here, but I think it's important to have this committee can still weigh in on whatever document or draft of document exists in the way of a red tape reduction report. So it's not as if this committee won't be having conversations or a say, or if you have individuals or outside entities that want to comment or have ideas on it, it can be discussed at this committee level if needed in the way of an ordinance, or certainly it can be added to the report. I think what might be helpful is an outline, which I think the subcommittee's probably first view or agenda item would be, is to create an outline based on other reduction on red tape reports that have been done in other cities, and sort of begin to pick and formalize words to paper what that report looks like and the topic areas that are concerning. And periodically throughout that work, the subcommittee will report to this committee in those discussions.
Last question. Do you envision yourself being a part of the subcommittee? Or,
No, I don't think so.
okay.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye.
Nay.
I'm sorry.
No.
Chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. We have 5 aye votes, 1 no vote.
Great. By the motion we have sustained, we will form a subcommittee to work on the formalization of a report on reduced red tape. There's probably no written testimony, right, Madam Clerk? This was not a public hearing. Any announcements? Great. Go ahead. Alderwoman.
Well, I guess we I'm demurring.
Okay. No announcements. We can go to excused aldermen. For the purposes of the meeting, we can excuse Alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That leaves us with adjournment.
Great. I move that
So
we
move.
adjourn.
Second.
Yeah, yeah.
So moved.
All of it.